in the name of racial equity and social justice. He believed that change exists not only within the walls of an institution, but outside of them as well. His belief was evident in the transformation he ushered into South LA and beyond. He understood the importance of black, brown, and all colors needing to live together in synergy. He taught us that by walking together and working together, we would be much farther along than we would than falling apart under our own weight of discord. Under his leadership, Fame Church became the lighthouse during times of darkness. From the '62 riots to the civil unrest in 2020, following the tragic death of George Floyd, Reverend Murray was an unbreakable ally, a dominant voice, and a symbol for justice and hope. He carried with him the fury to walk through the fires for all Angelenos. His commitment to lifting up the unserved communities through economic development, addressing homelessness, and improving education showcased his unwavering dedication to ensuring that all vessels rose with the positive tide of change. Every job created, every family housed, every child educated, and every investment made in this underserved community was a testament to his deep and abiding love for the people of South Los Angeles. His advocacy for criminal justice reform was unrelenting.
Thank you, Hillary T. I appreciate
Understanding
Hillary.
that black
Thank you,
youth
thank
were
you,
5 times
Hillary.
more likely to be incarcerated than their white counterparts. His commitment to social upliftment was not just calling, it was a crusade for human dignity. As we say farewell to this once-in-a-lifetime giant, his departure leaves a void that cannot be filled. But his spirit, his teaching, and his legacy will continue to light the way. The seeds he planted have taken root, and it is now our duty to honor his memory, not just with words, but in tangible actions, and to continue the fight he so valiantly led. Chip Murray poured his life into the streets of South LA and beyond, and today we owe our strength to his foresight, and we honor his memory
Thank you,
as
Ian.
an eternal
Appreciate
source
you,
of
Ian. Sorry,
inspiration.
man. I don't know what to do anymore.
Reverend Murray, may you rest in
Lost.
power and everlasting peace.
Spent hundreds of dollars to fix this, and nothing's fixed.
Thank you so much, Mr. President and members,
Thank you,
for allowing
Allison.
us this
Appreciate it.
special occasion to honor the giant that Cecil Murray was to the city of Los Angeles.
Well, thank you, members, for giving us this opportunity to recognize a life extraordinarily well lived, and his nearly a century of service and advocacy and leadership leave Los Angeles a much better place, and his legacy will continue to impact Angelenos and the city for many decades to
That's way
come.
too loud.
It is a
I'm
loss
sure of it.
for the city, but we're so incredibly grateful for the life of service of Chip Murray. So thank you very
Chase
much for
is
giving
over.
us this opportunity. And when we conclude our meeting today, we will
You're watching
be
in
adjourning. in his
replay. You're
memory.
talking about the white van who pulled into the
All right. Thank you, members.
the business, and she ran into the business. Talking about that, Chase?
Next, Madam Clerk, are there any items that we can vote on now before we go to our next presentation? Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. No,
No,
that's
it's
fine. We'll just
fine.
hold
Nope,
that.
it was
We'll hold
almost
those on the
quiet.
desk for the moment, and we will go next for our next presentation to Councilmember Lee. Councilmember Lee, you have the floor.
Whatever. I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't give a fuck no more.
So colleagues, we have, as you see, a bunch of young ladies here with us today. But if so, ladies, I'm going to ask if each team respectively stand up when I talk about you. But if we can have coaches of both teams come up and join me at the podium today. So colleagues, today I want to take some time to celebrate an incredible group of students from my alma mater, Granada Hills High School. Granada Hills Charter is known around our city for so many accolades and accomplishments. And earlier this year, these two groups of student athletes that you see here in council chambers today and their coaches delivered the schools with even more glory.
Thank you, Allison.
With us today, we have two of the
Thank you,
school's
Hillary.
sports teams, the girls' soccer team to my right, the girls' basketball team to my left, and their respective coaches. Both teams had incredible seasons and worked tirelessly to make the entire Granada Hills Charter High School community proud. So let me start first with the girls soccer team. Young ladies, can you stand up?
Sure, it's too loud. Everything is too loud.
In early March, this talented group of young athletes faced off against Apple Valley for the CIF Southern California Regional Division crown. Leading up to this match, the Highlanders had played in multiple matches that tested their grit, resilience, and their desire to win. Their match versus Apple Valley was no different. With the game at a draw at the end of regular time, the Highlanders headed into penalty kicks. 5 Granada Hills players made their shots to secure this championship, delivering, as I mentioned, more glory to Granada Hills High School. And I want to mention that the final kick that scored that sealed the victory was made by Natalia, the daughter of one of our very own Officer Pimentel. Officer Pimentel, where are you? Right there, Officer Pimentel. It was the first time a boys or girls team had won the regional championship for Granada Hills High School in soccer, and I believe that is worthy of applause. Let's give these young ladies a round of applause. Thank you, ladies. And now I'd like to invite the girls basketball team to stand up. So as if one regional championship wasn't enough for the Highlanders, coincidentally, the girls basketball team decided to follow up with another one of theirs for the school shortly after. By defeating Bakersfield Christian in regional finals by only 2 points, the girls basketball team was able to leave their mark and deliver yet another piece of hardware for the school. The Highlanders then became the first girls basketball team to represent the CIF Los Angeles City section in the state championship in Sacramento in 2001. It's clear that I am proud to be a Highlander, and even more than that, I'm proud to be able to uplift these incredible young athletes and celebrate their accomplishments in a meaningful way. For our younger generation, sports is more than a game. It's not just about wins and losses. It's an avenue to learn about life through perseverance, teamwork, dedication, and being the best version of yourself. Winning the championship was just the cherry on the top. And it seems appropriate to mention that while myself and many basketball fans have recently been watching across the nation Final Four matches, that we were more glued and interested in the women's Final Four than the men's Final Four championships this year. And I'd like to mention that because it feels like this council chambers, we have been celebrating more young women's accomplishments in championships from schools this year. And let's give a big round of applause to our basketball team from Granada Hills High School. So while I'm surrounded by champions for both teams, I would like their coaches to invite them to come up and share a few words with the council. The first coach I'd like to invite is Coach Guilherme from the soccer team. Where's Coach? Please. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hi, I would like to just first and foremost just thank the chamber and its members for the opportunity and the recognition for those amazing student athletes that we have. I would just like to say a few words and we'll get it going. What a fantastic year has been for this group of ladies. 5-6 months ago when I took over the Granada Hills program job, I never dreamed that we would win the state championship. We had a phenomenal season, and that include ups and downs throughout the season, particularly when we lost Anaí, one of our best players, in the first game of the season, but especially when we lost in the semis of CIF playoffs that could easily have been the end of the road. We bounced back from our defeats. We got better and better as the year progressed. And with some great leadership from our captains and upperclassmen, we won the West Valley League undefeated. And we accomplished a tremendous season record with 17 wins, 3 ties, and 3 losses. We end the season with a tremendous CIF playoff run that culminated with the state regional championship, the first and only in soccer in school history. I'm extremely proud to be part of this program, and I'm so proud of this group of student athletes here, sitting here next to me. I'm so grateful for having such a talented and hardworking group of players. I'm very appreciative to our school staff and parents for all the support. And I'm extremely thankful for our JV coach and varsity assistant coach, Kevin Marroquin, who's also out here with us. Who had a huge contribution in our success. Our defense was unbelievably solid and consistent throughout the
Hopefully
year.
they don't
Our
there,
midfielder
Captain.
worked so hard and controlled the game
Thank you again
in the
for
way
the
the opponents could not cope with. Our attackers were our first
not-
line of defense, covered so much ground without the ball, and they were so effective and clutch when we needed the most. Our seniors put the pride aside and always put the team first. They helped leading the girls and make the environment such a fun experience for everyone. I'm very grateful for that as well. I'll finish with 2 quick quotes. Success doesn't come from wishful thinking. It's the result of consciously doing something each day that will add to the overall excellence. And there are 2 types of pains in life: pain of disappointment and pain of discipline. If you can handle the pain of discipline, then you will never have to deal with the pain of disappointment. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Coach. And now I'd like to invite up Coach Ray Colston from the girls basketball team. Coach.
All right. Well, we want to thank Los Angeles for recognizing us this past season. What an unbelievable season we had. Me being a first-year coach and being excited to coach the team, and then within the first week being the coach, our best player goes down. That didn't deter our girls from working hard and being committed to the program and getting better. We essentially played this entire season without a point guard, and we were resilient when things weren't going our way. We always stayed into the fight and played hard and supported each other. And I think once we got into the state tournament, that was one of the reasons why we were able to have so much success. I want to also thank my coaches for being committed to the program. I want to thank the administration staff for always being in support of us and helping us have a successful season this year. So thank you very much.
Nice show.
Thank you, colleagues. I'd like to, I just saw this person. I didn't see them before, but I'd like to recognize our head of school for Granada Hills, who joined us here, Mr. Brian Bauer. Mr. Bauer, thank you so much for joining the young ladies today here in City Council. As you can see, I'm very proud of the school. I'm proud of the accomplishments that they make, both athletically and academically through the years. I'm proud to be a Highlander. I found a new favorite student over here because she asked if I graduated in 2010. So she's now officially my new favorite person at Granada Hills High School. So I did. I have graduated from class of 1988, young ladies. I've been here. I'm proud to be a Highlander, proud to represent an area that obviously I grew up in and the school that I went to and I love so much. Another round of applause for these amazing young ladies.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Before you close, I would like to recognize Councilmember Padilla.
Hello, everyone from Granada Hills High School. Before I get into talking about your props and how excited I am for you, I do want to take some time to thank Councilmember Marquise Harris Dawson, Heather Hutt, and Councilmember Price for their presentation before of Cecil Murray. It was kind of a weird transition, so nobody really clapped. So I want to clap for that first. Can we please? That was beautiful. Who would we be, and how would we, get our job done if we don't talk to the faith leaders of our community, it means that we're leading without humanity. So thank you again for bringing that to council today. And ladies, as a Valley girl myself, representing parts of Sun Valley, Panorama City, Arleta, Van Nuys, Lake Balboa, I know you know those schools, I know you know those regions. I want to congratulate you for taking the prize home. We just honored the basketball team not too long ago from Poly. So to me, it just looks like females are taking over as it pertains to the sports world in the Valley. So congratulations, keep up the good work. And to your coaches, thank you for caring. Thank you so much for caring and your dedication to helping our future leaders, the future of our community, feel like they're encouraged, feel like they have a place at home, outside of home, and after school. And I'm excited to continue to see you ladies take over the city of Los Angeles. Thanks again.
So, coaches, on behalf of the City of Los Angeles and obviously Council District 12, I'd like to present these 2 certificates, more things for Mr. Bauer to put up in the hallways of my alma mater. One for the girls' soccer team. Congratulations on your championship. And also to the girls' basketball team. Thank you for your championship. That's it. Ladies, you stand up.
Oh, Peachy folders. Wait. What's going on here? Neither of them are white. They shouldn't have got a Peachy folder.
All right. Congratulations,
Those are
Granada
only for the
Hills.
white
Congratulations,
boys.
Chance. Thank you, Councilmember Lee.
They should have got framed.
All right. Madam Clerk, are there items that we can now vote on before we go to the public
I don't know,
comment
maybe
section?
they ran out of frames.
Yes, sir. There are a number of items. Would council like to?
Why don't we go to item number 19?
Yes.
Okay.
Called special by Councilmember Hernandez.
Okay, Councilmember Hernandez called item 19 special, and we can take that item up now if Councilmember Hernandez, you wish to be heard on this item. Yes. Followed by Councilmember Harris Dawson.
Didn't even get 1 frame per second. That's the same school. Maybe that's
Thank
why
you,
they
Council
did it.
President.
They're from the same
Colleagues,
school.
our city animal shelters are in crises. They are overwhelmed with animals and the conditions are completely unacceptable. This is both an inflow and an outflow problem. We have too many animals coming into the shelters and we do not have enough being adopted or fostered. Many different factors have contributed to this crisis, including a lack of pet-friendly rental units, a wave of dogs being dropped off at shelters after COVID-19, and pets that are not being spayed and neutered. But despite the current conditions, there are currently very few barriers to obtaining a breeding permit. In fact, last year, the Department of Animal Services had issued more than 1,100 breeding permits in just the first 6 months of the year. And staff and volunteers at our shelters have shared that there has been an influx of purebred dogs being dropped off at our shelters. It is unacceptable for the city to continue issuing breeding permits while thousands of animals are suffering from overcrowded conditions in our shelters. This ordinance will institute a moratorium on all new breeding permits until our shelters are at or below 75% of their kennel capacity. I want to repeat that again. This moratorium is only in place until our shelters reach 75% capacity. So this is not permanent. This is just to get us to a place where our shelters are manageable. This is far from the only action we need to take, and I hope that we will all revisit this conversation and the current conditions in the shelters during our budget conversations. We cannot allow the animals in our care to suffer as a result of poor policy and budgeting decisions. I would like to thank my colleague, Councilmember Park, for presenting this with me. Our animals need partners on this council, and I'm grateful for her leadership. I hope you all will join me in supporting this ordinance that, again, is not permanent, and I ask for your aye vote, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Harris Dawson, followed by Councilmember Blumenfield.
Thank you. I'm not speaking on this item. I'm on item 46.
Okay.
Which, you want to come back to that?
We'll come back to that. Thank you. Councilmember Blumenfield, followed by Councilmember Park.
Great, thank you. I want to thank Councilwoman Hernandez for bringing this motion. I was honored to second it. It's encouraging to have lots of members on this council who care about animal welfare. This is also a tax savings measure, as well as being about the animals. Our shelters, as she mentioned, are busting at the seams, and it costs money to house these animals, and it costs us even more to put them down. The impetus for this motion is to encourage people to adopt their pets from the shelter and to stop going to the breeders. So get your Labradors, your Bulldogs, your Corgis from a shelter and adopt them. Not from a breeder where you pay thousands of dollars and actually make the shelter overpopulation worse. Now, the downside some animal advocates have shared with me is that they worry that this may drive folks underground, not get their permits, and continue backyard breeding. That's also a problem. But what we can do as a city, from the mayor to the council, is have a robust outreach campaign across the city to get people to adopt their pets from our shelters. Our shelter animals often get a bad rap. They're a wonderful mix and pure breeds at the shelter that just need a good home. In conclusion, this motion pushes us in that direction. Nothing is perfect, but it gets us to thinking of our goals to become a no-kill city, and therefore heads us in the right direction. And I urge an aye vote.
You're talking about the box
Thank
truck
you.
block that
Councilmember
stopped
Park.
a long while ago.
Thank you, Council President
over a half
and
hour ago.
Councilwoman Hernandez. I just wanted to thank you for your partnership and your commitment and dedication to addressing the overpopulation crisis in our local shelters. We need to use every tool that we have available to us to bring our shelter population down to manageable levels. While this temporary breeding permit moratorium is not a silver bullet, it hopefully will help stem the inflow of dogs into our shelters. Hopefully it will help alleviate some of the burnout amongst our shelter staff and end some of the suffering experienced by animals in our community. But our work doesn't stop today. We need to take a hard look at all of our policies that may be contributing to these circumstances and ensure that Animal Services has the funding and the resources that it needs to care for the animals in their custody. I also urge your aye vote on this. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Councilmember Hernandez, thank you for your leadership bringing this forward. I see no other members wishing to be heard, so let's go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
Half hour ago. You're watching the replay.
Mr. Price, we can take up item 20 next, if you wouldn't mind stepping out.
Thank you, Calamity Girl. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you. Item number 20, members, is now before us. For the record, Mr. Price is off the queue. Do any members wish to be heard on this item? Seeing none, let's open the roll,
There's a slight echo.
close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
12 ayes.
Thank you. That'll take us next to item number 22, called special by Councilmember
Let's
Rahman.
fix that for just a
Councilmember
second.
Rahman, you have the floor.
Do you hear the echo now? Do you still hear the echo now? Because if you hear the echo now, then it is me. But if there's no echo, then you know who it is. Maybe you've got 2 pages open. I don't know, Cordy. I don't know. But look at the chat room. I hear no echo on my side at all. Muted, unmuted. There you go. That's how you figure that out real quick, whose fault it is. 'Cause it isn't mine. I checked. There's no double pages open. There's nothing else. I turned down the speaker in here.
Speed mitigation measures in this location for many years now, actually even before I came into office. And I'm really, really excited that today we're going to be delivering a first step that brings us closer to putting these speed tables in. We know that speeding kills, and we shouldn't have to wait for a life to be lost before taking action. So I hope that all of you will be able to support us in moving this forward. Thank
It's got to be the mixer.
Thank you. There are no other members on the queue, so let's go ahead and open the roll,
I'm done.
close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
13 ayes.
Thank you. That'll take us next to item number 23, also called special by
Sounds like
Councilmember
it's on
Rahman.
reverb.
Okay, well, great. Back again. I just wanted to lift up this motion. It was passed through the Energy and Environment Committee a few weeks ago, and I want to thank Councilmember Yaroslavsky for scheduling it quickly and for the support of the committee. We have done a lot of work around building decarbonization in this body. some work that has proven to be contentious out in the public, some work that other cities are having to reckon with. We've done that because buildings are a huge part of our carbon footprint. And we know that they're about 40% of our city's emissions. I think, in order to take bigger steps on climate change, we'll have to move beyond the low-hanging fruit. And for us today, looking at how we can actually reduce carbon in buildings without making it harder to build is an important next step. So that's why I introduced this motion. This is part of an effort across the country where we're looking at how we actually implement net zero building targets and comply with upcoming state requirements that are already going to be imposed on the city. So this is really an effort to get the city ready for these state requirements and to think through how we can take every step possible to get us to a greener city. So I thank you all for taking a look at this motion, and I hope that it will get your support today. Thank you.
Thank you. There are no other members on the queue, so let's go ahead and open the roll on item 23. Close the roll and tabulate the votes.
13 ayes.
Thank you. Mr. Harris Dawson, item 46 is a closed session item, and you had an announcement and a recommendation?
Yes. This item was heard in the Plum Committee. The Plum Committee recommends approval, and there's no need to go into closed session unless members have specific questions.
Very good. So if there are any members who have questions about item 46 that need to be taken in closed
check
session,
the volume level on your mic.
I see none. So we can.
Yes, I will.
How's that? Is the reverb gone?
Okay. All right, Madam Clerk. So item 46 is now before us, and the recommendation. If you could go ahead and read that into the record, please.
Yes, sir. In the case entitled AIDS Healthcare Foundation versus City of Los Angeles, there's a recommendation to approve the proposed non-monetary settlement as detailed in the settlement agreement.
All right. As there are no members on the queue, let's go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
13 ayes.
Very good. Thank you, members. With that, I think we are prepared to go to the public comment section of our agenda. So, Madam Clerk, Mr. City Attorney, if you could please read in the directions.
Yes, sir. As indicated on the agenda, members of the public wishing to offer public comment should call 669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466, then press pound. Press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak. When it's your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press star 6 to unmute. Again, call 669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466, then press pound. Press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak. When it's your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press star 6 to unmute.
To people providing public comment, when it is your turn to speak, either at the podium or on the phones, please state which of the agenda items you would like to speak to. You will have up to 1 minute per item, up to 3 minutes total for the items open for public comment. We will tell you when your time is up. When speaking on the agenda items, you must be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can. If you are not on topic, or if we cannot tell whether you are on topic, you will get one brief warning from me or the president. At that point, you need to get immediately and clearly on topic. If you do not do so, or if you stray off topic, you will forfeit the rest of your speaking time and we will move on to the next speaker. The items open for public comment are 1 through 11 and 24 through 37. So again, the items that are open for public comment are items 1 through 11 and items 24 through 37. Members of the public may also speak for up to 1 minute for general public comment, which will be held concurrently with public comment on the agenda items. During general public comment, members of the public may speak to any of the other items or anything else in the city's subject matter jurisdiction. For members of the public calling in, when it is your turn to speak, an automated message from Zoom will prompt you to press *6 to unmute yourself.
Thank you, Shell.
If you do not do so, council staff will prompt you once more. At that point, you need to immediately unmute yourself, or unfortunately, you will forfeit your time and we will move on to the next speaker. Finally, because of a brief time delay between the live meeting and the broadcast, 2 things are important. First, while waiting for your turn to speak, please keep an ear to the phone so you know in real time when it is your turn to press *6 to unmute. Second, if you're listening to this meeting on another device, please turn down the volume on that device immediately when it is your turn to speak. Between the time delay and feedback, it will cause a great deal of confusion if you continue to listen on your other devices. Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to call a number of names, and as I call your name, please make your way to your left-hand side of the chambers, where our sergeants can direct you up to the speaker podium. Please don't come up until I call your name, but you do not need to speak in the order that I call you. So I'm going to call Claudio Bovel, Bijan, Danny Vilicic, Drew Gutierrez, David Keishjan, Ava Garcia, Dwayne Martinez,
Not time yet.
Anthony Garcia,
It's not 11:30.
and Gary Herrera.
Please leave me alone. I got enough. Okay? Your belly's got enough.
Good morning.
Good morning. If you could
Good morning, good afternoon.
Survive for 30
The reason I'm here because we have a crisis in the city of LA, Glory Homes apartment complex in the 10th district. We have a mold crisis in almost every apartment, and the complex is consumed by mold, and people are getting sick. And I'm bringing this to the attention of the city of LA, the council people and so forth. The house and apartment is aware of the problem. Mold, people are getting sick. It's a major medical crisis. Also in the Glory Home complex, we have an abundance of trash bins are filled. This is the trash right here, what it looks like. You have rats, you have everything you can think of. So the main thing is the mold crisis of Glory Homes apartment complex. People are getting sick. The house and apartment and the city needs to go in there and investigate the elderly people who are living in these complexes. The next project is the Jackie Robinson Stadium. Since last year, we do not have a ramp for the veterans who are in a wheelchair. I've been asking that for the last year. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name that you signed up under and the items you would like to speak to.
Good morning. My name is Gary Herrera. I'm speaking to item 36.
Okay, so you have 1 minute.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning, honorable council members. My name is Gary Herrera, and I am the president of ILW Local 13, which represents over 10,000 workers in Southern California in the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach. I'm here today to speak in favor of agenda item number 36. I'll give a little bit of background, make it really simple. We're in favor of number 36 because what it's going to do is going to allow the companies to start with zero emission equipment and start cleaning up the air in which I live and I work. Our members have about 75% of our workforce live within a 10-mile radius. This right here is going to be good for the environment, including our workers. I know there's just been lots of talk about how the workforce only cares about jobs, but right now we're creating a balance between jobs and which is economic justice and environmental justice, which we're in favor of today. I've been born and raised in San Pedro. We want both economic and environmental justice. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Get the fuck out of here! Leave me alone!
To speak to?
Danny Vilicic, item 36 as well.
Okay, so you have 1 minute.
Good morning, Mr. President, honorable council members. My name is Dan Vilicic. I serve as president of ILW Local 63, the clerks union in the harbor. The ILW supports item 36 of the Fifth Amendment for Permit 99. We support this because we're involved in the clean air.
What else
Our members,
is new, man?
3/4 of our members live within 10 miles of the
ourselves
port.
and
So this is very important to us to have clean air, clean equipment, and we want to abide by that. The alternative to approving the Fifth Amendment is stark. China Shipping Terminal employs approximately 657 ILW members. Those members would no longer be working if this weren't passed. The ILW stands ready to assist the city in any way it can to ensure China Shipping, a non-automated source of good union jobs, both one of the cleanest and economical important terminals in the city and the world. In order to do that, we respectfully request that you vote to approve the Fifth Amendment to Permit 999. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name that you signed up under and the items you would like to speak to.
Good morning. I'm speaking on item 36.
Okay,
My name is Dwayne Martinez. I'm Vice President of ILWU Local 94, and we represent the foreman on the waterfront. I'm here today to speak in favor of agenda item 36, which calls for approving the Fifth Amendment to permit number 999 between the ports of LA and China Shipping Company. The alternative to approving the Fifth Amendment is a scary one. The China Shipping Terminal at the Port of Los Angeles is the source of approximately 657 full-time jobs, which are good middle-class union jobs that allow us to support the local economy, which we do greatly. By approving the Fifth Amendment, environmental justice is being treated equally with economic justice. We respectfully request that you vote to approve the Fifth Amendment to permit number 999 between the ports of LA and China Shipping. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
There it is right there.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you would like to speak to.
Drew Gutierrez, item number 36.
Okay, so you have 1 minute.
President and honorable council members, I'm here today representing ILWU Local 94, the labor relations representative. I'm also here today twofold as a citizen of the community surrounding the Port of LA and Long Beach. I'm here today because our voice matters. We are here representing the community and labor. And when you have a sense of control of your destiny, you have to speak up. So at this time, we respectfully request that you vote to approve the Fifth Amendment to permit number 999. We know that our jobs are lasting, and we fought historically since pre-World War I to represent labor, and these jobs will be affected for the community. So we respectfully request that you approve the Fifth Amendment. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you would like to speak to.
Hi, my name is David Gaishan, and I'm speaking on item 30 and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the item.
Thank you. Item 30's file was established by a motion that seeks to prohibit the use of criminal background checks for tenant screenings. The reason this file immediately went dormant is that it would result in putting hardworking renter families in serious peril by forcibly exposing them to violent criminals, including convicted child molesters, rapists, murderers, sex traffickers, and drug dealers. As we know, most renters are honest, hardworking families, many of whom are single mothers with young children at home. They live in multifamily buildings, sharing common walls, floors, and ceilings with their neighbors. They are literally inches away from one another, and as a result have close interaction with many of their neighbors. To tie the hands of rental housing providers from screening out violent convicted criminals shows a complete disregard for existing renters trying to raise their families in a safe and harmonious environment. Rental housing owners are already effectively prohibited from ejecting renters for criminal conduct after they move in, as owners are unable to find any law-abiding renters willing to testify against a bad actor due to fear of violent retaliation against them and their family. With this file, the city now
Speaker, your
considers...
time has expired. Oh, so your general public comment, though?
With this file, the city now considers eliminating the one remaining tool of owners to protect law-abiding renters by screening out convicted violent criminals from initially walking into the door to their communities. When is the city going to start caring more about protecting and helping honest working families that are renters and less aiding and abetting convicted criminals? The city has already eliminated lower crimes from serving time, and DAs regularly bargain down high-level crimes, so the only ones left to serve time are the most serious and violent offenders. If the city council wants to help formerly incarcerated individuals, they should be supporting funding for intensive mental health and addiction treatment in clinically supervised housing. Formerly incarcerated individuals must be given the time and therapy needed to relearn appropriate societal conduct. We urge a no vote on this item to allow the file to remain expired. Thank you.
Thank you. And as our next speaker is preparing to come up, I'm going to call some more names. Nedra Gaspard, Ian Jameson,
Wow, Debbie, thank you so
Mr.
much for the
G,
big dono.
Jacob
Appreciate
S, Marcos Holguin,
See? Now let's-
Julia Orozco, Louis Sanford, Kevin Cody,
See, it's gotta be
and
that
Lisa
mixer.
Lang.
I'm gonna have to go buy a new mixer.
Muy buenos días. Mi nombre es Eva García y soy organizadora de colectivo Poder Comunitario.
Good morning, my name is Eva Garcia and I'm an organizer of a community... ¿Puede repetirlo, señora?
Colectivo Poder Comunitario.
Okay, of the community power, collective community power.
Y vengo a hablar por la 30 y comentario general.
I want to talk on number 30 and also a general public
Barely hear
comment.
that on my
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public
Tiene
comment.
un minuto para cada uno, señora.
Thank you,
Y
Debbie.
estoy aquí para apoyar por la 30 porque necesitamos que se lleve a cabo, ya que si no se lleva a cabo, el mal récord que se lleva por tener a un inquilino en la corte por injusticia no es bueno. Creo que
Okay, so I am here in support of number 30 because we need to move this forward, because if not, the record of someone that is like a tenant that is taken to the court for justice.
I don't know.
¿Puedo continuar, señora?
la vivienda no debe tener mal récord. La vivienda es esencial y vital para cada ser humano.
So our houses shouldn't have a bad record because it is an essential need for every tenant and every citizen.
Los llevan a la corte injustamente.
And we are taken to court in an unfair way.
Y si no tienen un abogado, pierden su vivienda.
And if we do not have an attorney, then we will lose our.
¿Y todavía un mal récord?
And still we are gonna have it in the record.
Creo que eso no es justo.
I think that this is not fair.
Deberían de apoyar a la 30.
They should support number 30.
Porque de por sí los dueños ponen muchos requisitos para que podamos tener un techo.
Because the owners put a lot of requisites for us to have a roof over our head.
Y todavía checar un récord.
And on top of everything, they're going to check our records.
Es inaudito.
That is like incredible.
Entonces estoy aquí para apoyar porque ahorita en este tiempo todavía tenemos mucha gente con deuda de renta.
So I'm here to support because here nowadays we still have a lot of people that are in
General
debt
public
because of their rent.
Y eso los van a llevar a la corte.
And they're gonna bring these people to the court. Ahora puede hacer su comentario público, señora.
Y
Tiene un minuto.
vamos a regresar a tener, al llevarlos a la corte van a tener un mal récord.
And then if they take them to court, then they will have a bad record.
Entonces sería que tendrían que hacer un cancelamiento de renta.
So then they would have to cancel the rent.
Para que puedan apoyar también la moción 30.
So they can also support motion number 30.
Y así nuestros inquilinos puedan tener, o nuestra comunidad pueda tener vivienda.
So our community, our tenants can have a house.
Y no se sientan con miedo de perder su vivienda por falta de pagar también una deuda.
And they wouldn't fear that they were going to lose their house just because they cannot pay one rent.
Entonces tenemos un trabajo en conjunto.
So it's a work that we need to do together.
Porque sabemos que el techo es un derecho humano.
Because we know to have a roof over our heads is a human right.
Y actualmente lo están viendo como una mercancía.
And now you're looking at this as a merchandise.
Y no como una necesidad.
Not a need.
Entonces, por favor, apoyen a la 30.
So please support number 30.
Y empujen un cancelamiento de renta.
And push for the canceling of the
para que
rent.
nuestra comunidad tenga una vivienda y saludable.
So our community can be healthy and have a house.
Thank you.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you would like to speak to.
My name is Bijan. I'd like to speak on number 30.
Okay. So
and general public comment.
Okay. So you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin.
I'm a tenant organizer with Community Power Collective, and I'd like to support item number 30 so that right now tenants are experiencing a lot of evictions in court, and we want to make sure that this doesn't affect them in finding new housing. A lot of times these evictions are due to non-payment of rent and rental debt accrued during the COVID-19 pandemic. We want to make sure that a lot of these tenants are hardworking families of color, and they're getting kicked out of their homes in waves due to a debt that they were never able to catch up to and pay back by the February 1st deadline. We want to make sure that even though they have a
general public comment,
even though if their record is affected, we want to make sure that they can still find a healthy home to live in, to move in with their family, and this is affecting a lot of tenants. 153,000 households in LA are behind on rent. And 60% of those households were not able to repay the debt by the February 1st deadline. Tenants also requested $460 million from the ULA Rental Assistance Program, but the fund only had $30 million available. So even though tenants have been requesting help, the city has been unwilling to help them. We want to make sure that the city pushes to look for solutions to seize the debt, cancel the debt, so that tenants don't have to be kicked out on the street. And we hope we can rely on the entire city council to support this. Thank you.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the
Nedra
items.
Gaspard.
Okay. And which items would you like to speak to?
I'm speaking on behalf of Gloria Homes Apartments.
So general public comment?
Yes.
You have 1 minute.
Okay, I'm speaking on behalf of, I am a tenant and a businesswoman in the community of the 10th District, and I have been totally displaced due to the mold situation, which they call lavish living, which basically is hazardous living. And there are elderly people there that are suffering. I have spoke to several neighbors, gotten statements, and spoke with them about, I had code enforcement come out to my apartment. I had the environmental health department come out to my apartment. They have been cited, but there are other people and several other elderly people in these buildings, which is over 100 units in this community, that has been hidden. This problem has been hidden for many years. They come in, they paint over it, and people are getting sick. Children are getting sick. My grandson got sick, caught a viral respiratory infection. I've gotten sick. I have moved out, totally been displaced for over a month. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
General public comment, please.
Okay, so you have 1 minute.
1 year ago tomorrow, on April 10th, 2023, Joe Biden ended the federal state of emergency over COVID, and yet the city continues to impose a COVID vaccine mandate on the over 50,000 people working for this city. Why? Why? What is wrong with you people? End the mandate. And while I'm here, I do just want to say that it is an absolute scandal, the unprecedentedly high rate of vacancies Ms. Hernandez's office is suffering, and this is entirely due to her having eaten several of her staffers. This is completely unacceptable, and the Ethics Commission must investigate. Thank you.
They went missing because they got eaten, huh?
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you would like to speak to.
Good morning. Louis Sanford, CD4, general comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute.
Studio City took 2 big hits last week, largely due to Mr. Krikorian and Ms. Rahman. The private Harvard Westlake School closed the 70-year-old HCM, Weddington Golf and Tennis, and will build a huge school sports complex, which will add thousands of cars and shuttle buses to our grid. The Mammoth Sportsman's Lodge project, literally next door to Weddington, was just approved, and once finished, will add thousands more vehicles to our grid. This all makes no sense. Coldwater Canyon, Ventura Boulevard, and Moore Park are already clogged with half-mile backups or more during the morning and afternoon rush hours. Yet land use committees, commissioners, keep approving projects without looking at the big picture. And sadly, this council rubber stamps them without asking the hard questions. Now, I know the state wants more development, but most of it in the same congested area. If you can't see what's wrong with this picture, then shame on you all.
Next speaker, please.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you would like to speak to.
Good morning, Marcos Holguin, item 36.
Okay, so you have 1 minute.
Thank you. President Krikorian, honorable council members, my name is Marcos Holguin. I serve as counsel for International Longshore and Warehouse Union, Locals 13, 63, and 94, which represent the longshore workers, marine clerks, and foremen at the Port of Los Angeles. Here today speaking in favor of agenda item 36, which calls for approving the Fifth Amendment to permit 999 between the Port of LA and China Shipping Holding Company. We support the implementation of the mitigation measures identified in Exhibit M1 of the Fifth Amendment. As you're aware, the mitigation members included in the exhibit include such requirements as the use of alternative maritime power for hoteling vessels, compliance with vessel speed reduction programs, vessel, truck, and cargo handling equipment use of cleaner fuels, and more. If the Fifth Amendment is not approved, the basis for litigation that sought to side permit 999 would likely remain, which could potentially be extremely detrimental to our members who rely on the terminal for work. Thus, we respectfully request you approve permit 999's Fifth Amendment. Thank you.
Thank you. As our next speaker is coming up, I'm going to call a few more names. Sal DiCostanzo, Shua Brown.
Good morning.
Adam Smith, Gary Ito, Brenda Lee, Johnny G.
Johnny G's there?
And Michelle Walker.
Awesome, man. Johnny G's there.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you would like to speak to.
Yeah, it's a general public comment, and my name is Lisa Lange, and just wanted to take a minute to thank this council for voting through the breeding moratorium, especially council people Hernandez and Park. This is, as you both said, the first step. So much more needs to be done, but what you've done is going to be a huge help for the animals, the homeless animals in this city, the people who care for them day in and day out and do the heartbreaking work, including the rescue organizations that are doing everything they can to find homes and foster homes. We would urge you, please, to place a mandate that all of the city shelters keep their doors open and stop turning animals away. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you would like to speak to.
Que mi nombre, vengo a hablar del número 30, comentario público.
I got to talk on number 30 and a public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment.
Mi nombre es Julia y vengo del colectivo Poder Comunitario y vengo a apoyar el número 30. Porque creo que...
Si puedo hacer unas cositas para que yo lo traduzca. My name is Julia and I come from the Community Power, Collective Community Power, and I come to talk about number 30.
Porque creo que ninguno de nuestra comunidad no deben ser discriminados
con un mal récord.
So I think that nobody in our community should be discriminated because they have a bad record.
¿Eso costaría encontrar una vivienda?
It would be really hard to find a new place to live.
De por sí muchos dueños ponen muchos requisitos para rentar una vivienda.
There are already a lot of limitations and requisites to be able to rent a house, a place.
Por ejemplo, ahora hay mucha deuda de renta, cual debes ver una orden de cancelamiento de renta.
So now, for example, there is so much debt for the rent, so there should be like an ordinance to cancel the rent debt.
Ahora hay muchos desalojos pasando día a día.
There's a lot of evictions happening every day.
Por la mayor parte la razón es por deuda de renta durante la pandemia.
And mostly is because there was a debt accumulated during the pandemic.
Estas personas no deben de ser discriminadas por su desalojo.
These people shouldn't be discriminated due to their eviction.
Que la ciudad tiene la oportunidad de ayudar. Hay tiempo buscar soluciones y cancelar esta deuda también.
There's an opportunity for the city to help, and there's time to find new solutions and to also seize this debt, cancel it.
Y a la vez vengo a apoyar a que el número 30 pase para que tengamos vivienda, porque todos merecemos un hogar.
We all deserve a home, so I'm here to support number 30 for it to pass. Because we all deserve a house, so we can have a house, a roof over our head.
Y ojalá no queremos que más hablen, queremos que por favor los concejales actúen y queremos hechos.
And we don't want the council members to just talk, we want some actions and we have some results.
Good morning. So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin.
Well, first of all, I'm going to speak on all items and non-agenda public comment with my so-called service dog right here.
Speak to the agenda or
Now,
you're finished.
the translation of the Fifth Amendment shall be held to answer for capital or otherwise infamous crimes at the ports. And now, why do I say that? Infamous crimes at the port for the Fifth Amendment.
Mr. Herman, this is not on the agenda. Please get to the agenda
Well,
or you will forfeit your speaking time.
Public
and all.
danger is the Fifth Amendment, sir. Read on the Fifth Amendment. That's what I'm discussing here regarding administrative exemptions at the Board of Harbor Commissioners when these people are struggling with all these toxic, poisonous, fucked up barges that come into our port to criminally kill us from China. Now, who are you protecting, Korea or China? Then, asshole, since I'm rudely interrupted, let me go to the other. Sit down. God damn it. All right. There you go. Items 1 through 11 for the record. Fuck all items. And then I'm going to now go on the items held, like, for example, moo, moo, moo. Moo, moo, moo. Is that Council District 7? Fat ass for 545-944. The general city purpose, moo, moo, moo call for a dog park. I brought my service dog. I'm talking about a dog park. So I'm on topic, foo. So get it straight, Herbert H. Humphrey. Hump on this. Because that's the only thing you don't do right. Intervene in my Fifth Amendment and this item number 33 regarding Moo Moo Cow and that jackass and the other district regarding the Sun and Dog Run Park. Roof, roof. Run, run, run. Roof, roof. Now let's go to item 37 regarding alcohol. Fuck your item 37 for alcohol. And item 34, Juju Blib, the LA River West. Public safety? The public safety is you haven't provided wells or determined how to transfer all this wasted fucking water out of the LA River into areas, into wells where you could use that to water the dog parks, water the Juju lands, and make Juju America safe from the dark garden. Save me from this fucking racist anti-Semitism that you've created in our country. Protect our water. more for Hamas, save Hamas, and stop putting your fucking ideas in Israel to kill children. Now my general public comment. Larry Gross and I were talking this morning after I exposed him to the anti-SLAPP shit that you created, allowing this motherfucker to kill our dogs. To kill our dogs. Over 700 fucking dogs die in LA City because of you. You refuse to listen to Dan Gus. I'm not going to say who he writes for. You know what he writes about. Like criminal goddamn Price over there, whose indictment, he recused himself on those fucking items, on all those thousands, if not thousands of fucking dollars of our tax-paying wasted money on you, Jew shit. And where is Mr. Buckethead, Mr. Circle K? He should listen to this shit because he's involved in that goddamn racist shit going on at the ports. 42 U.S.C. 1983. Fuck you. Fuck the ports. God bless Trump. And shut it down.
Don't yell into the
Soon.
mic.
Fuck you.
If you yell into the mic again in this meeting or any future meeting, you're going to be ruled in violation of Rule 12, and I'm going to kick you out. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you would like to speak to.
Good morning. My name is Sal DiCostanzo. I'm with the ILWU, speaking in favor of item number 36.
Okay.
Item number 36 codifies the environmental progress that we all want while protecting the jobs that are vital to our local economy. The world needs the U.S. for its leadership, politically and environmentally, and the U.S. needs California. The closure of the China shipping terminal and other related measures would cripple the Port of Los Angeles and in turn, California itself. Already our economic standing has slipped from number 4 to number 6, and it continues to slide. It has taken the ILWU 90 years to deliver middle-class jobs while fighting for labor rights, civil rights, and human rights. Please pass this motion and help us move into a new era where environmental justice and economic justice are considered equally. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. As our next speaker is preparing to come forward, I'm going to call a few more names. Sean M., Donald Harlan, Rob Kwan, Ashley Byrne, Fong Wong, and Lam Ho, please.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Could I hand these to somebody to hand out 23 copies to all of you?
Yes, Sergeant will take that for you.
Thanks. Keep the folder, Sergeant.
And which items would you like to speak to?
Number 29 in general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin.
Hi, my name's Adam Smith from LA CAN's Human and Civil Rights Committee. I'm speaking on number 29 as I think it's important to lift up and shine a light on our wonderful trans and gender nonconforming friends, family, and communities, and thank Council Members Rahman and Soto Martinez for this motion. I think it's also important for our elected officials to think about the impacts of city policies on our communities and the ways particular folks and communities are disparately impacted by said policies. Since 2017, the number of transgender individuals experiencing homelessness has increased at least 57%, while the number of gender nonconforming individuals has increased at least 80%. When we think about the city's addiction to using criminalization and displacement measures like Los Angeles Municipal Code 4118 as a quote-unquote solution to homelessness, we must soberly think about the daily impact on overrepresented communities like trans and non-binary folks, and particularly Black trans women, and the violence and lack of safety.
General public comment.
And the violence and lack of safety folks deal with being unhoused, a lack of safety that is only exacerbated by criminalization via laws like 4118. The public needs to see the report back on 4118. Today is 300 days since it's overdue. 300 days. We not only want the report back released, but this council should schedule a standalone special hearing to hear back from all city departments and other entities tasked in this motion with reporting back on their use of 4118, and as well as hearing back from community and community groups like the Los Angeles Community Action Network, for example. We haven't heard from numerous council offices that we've been trying to meet with. Council President Krikorian is one who can't get an email back from the council president. It says a lot. When council offices can't even reply to emails, I noticed that Councilmember Yaroslavsky's not here, who wrote the motion and refuses to even email us back. Where is the report back?
Thank you. Next speaker, and Mike Greenspan, you can come up too.
Good morning. So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment.
Yes, Buckethead, I'd like to speak on all items. Pumpkinhead.
There's Rob Long.
So let's talk about Big Fat Money Cow and her animal park. What a perfect thing. Yes, there's nothing better than bringing your cow to the park, or bringing your horse, or bringing maybe a goat. Yes, that's what we need, more animal parks. For these animals here on the council love animals. That's why I'm here. I didn't know that. Yes. So now let's get to some shit. Let's see here. Number one. Fuck number one. Anything Heather Hutt does is illegitimate. No on her. Here's CD7 Moni Cow Rodriguez taxing the people of her district. What a little fucking goathead. Number three. Shame on Imelda for doing that on number three, taxing these poor people. First, why don't you fix the street lights in your district before you put more Prop 218 sign and light districts up? Yes. And then we got CD1. Oh no. We have Itzo Hernandez putting up a whole bunch of shit over there, taxing people. There's too many lights out in your district. I want a motion on all these light districts that no light district will be approved until the current ones are repaired and fixed. And I believe this was Kevin's idea. Thank you, Kevin. I think it's a good idea. And then we have Hugo Shoto Stalin. Yes, you knew you were next. Sitting there drinking his free coffee, taxing his constituents. And then we have, of course, Tracy Evil Park over there taxing these poor people in her district, yes, as she bows her head in shame. And then what's this? Oh, look at Kevin wants to shut down an alley. Very good, Kevin. Very good. You know, you're improving. I might have to change my endorsement back to you from that pretty lady running against you. I don't know. We'll see. If you want it, then you can get it. But if you don't want it, you won't get it. Then we have CD4. Then that's right. We have Nithya Ramen Noodle. The fucking cunt wants Sprouts Farmer Market to go and have more alcohol so people can go home and beat their old lady drunk. Isn't that the plan? Aren't there enough fucking liquor licenses in your district? I can't go down your streets without tripping over a liquor store or liquor license. Protect women for once and vote no. Now we'll get to the general comment.
General public comment?
Tomorrow we're celebrating Ramadan, but apparently Timmy Buckethead McOsker is going to hold a committee meeting here in these chambers in defiance of the Muslim community. Is that right? Are you such a racist, Buckethead, that you can't take the day off and honor our Muslim brothers and sisters? What a piece of fucking Irish shit this asshole is. I can only imagine. His mother wishes she had a time machine so she could have had that abortion. What a fucking fat, bucket-headed cunt to hold a fucking meeting here tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. in these chambers, when even Paul Martin Krikorian, the biggest racist in the world, is holding a recess, the one thing he's done right in his life. The second will be when he pleads guilty. But again, I want that meeting canceled. Any other council member that shows up, you are anti-Muslim. Fuck you.
He's an immigration
Next
lawyer,
speaker.
funny enough as that is. Oh yeah, Sean from Canoga Park. Where's Johnny G?
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Item 36.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Please begin.
Let's save our animals. Let's save our pussycats. Meow. Thou shalt not kill animals. Let's save our let's save our dogs and cats. We need to fix our streets. General public comment, City Attorney. We need to fix our fix our streets. We need to fix our sidewalks. We need to get LA back the way it used to be. Wasn't too happy when you threw me out 2 weeks ago. I'd like your resignation 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Next speaker.
Good morning.
Grote.
Which items would you like to speak to?
35 and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment.
Item 35 is on our election results, and just want to recognize Kevin putting the L in KDL. Just an absolutely historically bad performance by an incumbent. By double digits, the worst performance we've seen from an incumbent council member in over 20 years. I'm going to look into that and get the exact stat for you so we can put it into full historical context. On a more serious note, want to just congratulate Councilmember Rahman for spanking Ethan Weaver and the LAPPL. I hope this serves as a lesson to all of our incumbents. You can look back to Councilmember Rue in his election in 2015. He had a genuinely grassroots campaign, strong field effort, and ended up completely abandoning it in 2020 and running a traditional campaign. Where most of our incumbents go the route of casting safe votes, relying on Keegan and Papas to host a bunch of lobbyists, organizing fundraisers,
General public comment?
getting 90% of their money from max contributors, building up a massive $1 million war chest, having no field campaign, just flooding mailboxes, relying on nasty attack ads. We saw how that worked out for David Rue, Mitch O'Farrell, and Gil Cedillo. So for those of you that are running in a few years, I hope you take that message that you don't have to be a complete hack around this horseshoe, and you could actually run a campaign on principles and win even if you are outspent. And just want to note, it has been 1,588 days since the city council did anything to address corruption. We've had 4 members arrested since then. 257 days that our council president has been out of compliance with the charter's requirement that he appoint somebody to the ethics commission, and he has still not taken accountability for that misuse of city resources with that Nazarian email. And I'm just gonna say, last chance to resolve this in a diplomatic way, or you force people to resort to other options.
Thank you. Your time's expired. Next speaker, please.
Mike Greenspan, viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning. So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
Mike Greenspan, all items and public comment. First of all, happy Passover, you scab rabbis. And remember, Jesus didn't do Easter, he did Passover. Dumb goyim. Now, let's go to liquor. Oh yes, Mr. B-double-O-Z-E. We don't have Herb Wesson out here anymore, but we sure got others filling in the shoes. Just like Nithya Cunt Ramen Noodle in District 4 with the Sprouts. Why don't we just change our laws and make it New Orleans style, 24 hours, French Quarter everything. It'd be more convenient. Very convenient. We don't have enough liquor. We have to have more. Just bring the money. Now, let's look at other things. Oh, talking about street lights, I like nothing in Council District 2 where Lancashire from Hart to Sherman is always dark. I keep mentioning it time and time again at City Council. In fact, that's Mr. Krikorian's district, and it's still dark as ever. Thank you. Now, Santa has been generous. Oh, what do you mean? Well, let's look at the latter part of the agenda. Why, Rodriguez has been a good girl. She's getting about $225,000 on item 27, even though she's not here today, and she's getting another thing which is it? Hubert Humphrey. Yes, How much is she getting on that one? Is that the 500,000 plus? After all, money must grow on trees. Some people have been nice. And then there's who else being nice? Why, Madison McCabe is getting 31,250. Santa's being really nice to some people. They've been on the nice list. They're probably contributing to campaigns and everything else and getting their payouts. We have election results for all the districts, and go Burgos, anyone but Najarian in District 2. And remember, we got that Senate race. Garvey, you can't beat your meat. I don't know why you're running. Oh, Katie Porter is a bad cunt who had a terrible bunch of consultants. Now, let's look at other things. Where's this money coming from? I forgot to bring my gloves today so we can go pick them off the money trees in Districts 3 and 5. But what can I say? We keep spending. Kind of our version of Rome Burn and Nero Fiddle. Well, while we have no money, Blumenfield must be pulling $400 million out of his yarmulke because where's the money? Where's the money?
General public comment?
Yes. Congratulations, Granada Hills, on your championships. I've actually, years ago, umpired a girls' softball game at Granada Hills. They were well behaved. I wish I could say that for others in the hood, but not. I mean, one of the biggest jerks around is a pastor at a mega church, Dudley Rutherford. He is the biggest jerk on the planet. I've refereed the games over there at Hillcrest. That you couldn't get any worse than him. And there's others too. A guy named Rod Shoutown, who happened to be the athletic director at West Valley Christian. I had to help my officiating partner out of the gym because Shoutown, I'm going to call this person, I'm going to call that person. And I walked up there and I said, I don't care who you're going to call. And I escorted my partner out. That guy. And who else? Oh, and in a Christian league, when you get caught cheating, what do? They jerk their dicks and blame the umpire. It's everybody's fault but theirs. Ho, ho, ho.
All right, that will conclude comment here in the chambers. We'll go next to the phones.
Johnny G, that's fucked up.
First caller,
Somebody
please.
signed up as Johnny G.
First caller, which items would you like to speak to?
Caller, this is your last opportunity to speak. Please press *6 to unmute.
Someone signed up as Mr. Harlan.
Which items would you like to speak to?
Because you know what? They're tired of not getting called. Like when it's Spindler. Or
Caller ending in
Spindler and fucking Herman.
7255. Press *6 to unmute.
Okay. We have to move on to the other callers because we still cannot hear you. So next caller.
There's the DEI sound guy.
Caller, which items would you like to speak to?
Good morning, nerds, virgins, and
Good morning.
smoking scan.
Which items
Brock
would you
Landers,
like to
Los
speak
Angeles
to?
Private investigator. I'll open items and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
30, the Fair Chance Housing. Are you guys going to set up a fund for the property owners who aren't allowed to look at someone's criminal history and then have damage to their property by a tenant that they wouldn't have rented to? Do you guys do background checks on your staff to show everyone how safe it is? Why don't you offer to pay for nannies for people in the community if they hire the nannies without doing a background check, and then you can have people from prisons come out and be nannies? Let's see, 31. It's interesting that you guys want to give $1 million to the Stetson Branch equestrian improvements when less than a year ago you told the Compton Cowboys that they can't rodeo. I wonder if that has anything to do with the median income and similar being almost triple the median income in Compton. Do you hate the Compton Cowboys because they are poor or because they are black? 32. I would feel a lot better about this number if it didn't start with 666, unless you're going to give some of the money to El Diablo Blanco. 29. You're getting everyone today to have City Hall illuminated for them. Why haven't you given one to Smoke and Scan yet? Damon has brought more eyes to these meetings than any of you have. 33. $545K for dog parks. Why don't we have any cat parks? I mean, maybe Figueroa, but I think that's, kind of up in the air and not necessarily where you want to take every cat. General public comment.
Okay.
To the people that were talking about the girls' sports taking over and you recognizing more girls' teams than boys' teams, you twat jackets do realize that the guys' team won a title in each of those sports and would beat the girls' teams you brought in. You choose who you recognize and who you ignore. Congratulations on continuing the racist ways of the Democratic Party and telling all of the brown and black boys that won titles in their sports this year that they don't matter to you. Price, I'm sure the guy that you talked about earlier today was super proud of your corrupt ways. Damon, buddy, we're here for you. We love you. We don't care about the echoey sound now and then. We're here for you and the family. Love you, buddy.
Thanks, Brock.
Stacy, love you too, sweetie.
Good Brock's always got a good call.
Next caller.
And didn't they ban
Caller,
the
which
rodeos
items would you like to
too?
speak to?
They did. See, the equestrian center's okay, though.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Which items would you like to speak to?
Can you tell me what items are available, please, and also general public comment?
So this is for everyone. The items that are open for public comment are 1 through 11 and 24 through 37.
Cool, so all available items and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Begin.
Cool. What's up, sluts and whores? This is not fucking Brock Landers, and for identification purposes only, this is not Daniel Gus either. Items 1 through 9 are all here in protest on improvement for street lighting district. It's funny how they word these items sometimes. It makes it seem like people are going to come out, strictly to disagree with improving their neighborhoods versus other items that are worded as adhering on convenience or necessity. Not that people are coming out and protesting.
Uh-oh. His phone's gone. Did he dunk him? He lost
Caller,
him.
are you there?
He hung up.
Oh,
Okay, next
man,
caller.
he was talking.
Caller,
Hit the
which items would you like to
fucking
speak
hang
to?
up button.
Caller, please turn down the
Hello, are you
volume on your
able to-
other device.
Oh, I don't have another device on. Let me see.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yes, the echo's gone. So which items would you like to speak to?
I wanted to speak to number 9, but I believe that is no longer open for comment regarding the animal shelter. So I guess just public comment.
So, I'm sorry, item number 9 is open, so you... Oh, number...
Oh, and is that is the animal
Sorry,
shelter,
19,
correct?
okay,
Or the
sorry.
breeding?
For item 19, yes, you can speak to it during general public comment.
Okay. So then general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute.
Okay. I just would like everyone to know that the animal shelters are very, very overrun. They are filthy. Having been there and adopted a dog myself from the Carson shelter, they are understaffed. The animals are living in unsanitary, unhealthy conditions. Mayor Bass is not doing her job to help with this issue. Neither is Stacy Daines, who is the general manager. She doesn't respond to multiple requests for information, and I really just encourage you guys to please look further into this and to encourage the moratorium on the breeding licenses. Thank you.
Okay, next caller.
Caller, which items would you like to speak to?
Echo's back again. Sounds right.
Yeah, it's Eric Craven from Studio City. I'd like to speak on the available items and a general public comment.
Okay, good morning. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
Okay, well, I'd like to certainly thank Councilmember Rodriguez for coming up with the CD7 beacons. Beacons, for the record, it's related to traffic safety, traffic injuries, and people get hurt if you can't see pedestrians in the roadway. Alita Reynolds has moved over to MTA, where she's now working with Krikorian closely. But she was at DOT here. Now she's over at Metro in Information. Anyway, getting back to the beacons, what they do is they illuminate the roadway so people don't get injured and damaged. Brian Panish, Krikorian's buddy, is picking up $9.5 million today. Repeatedly, this guy comes back and collects as Krikorian and Blumenfield deal him out for item number 39. The total for all of the closed sessions today for the listeners was $16,268,000 payable by the taxpayers for all the work that's being done in the back room, conniving with lawyers like this guy, I forget his name here, George McDizian. I mean, these guys just come in, they create a false narrative that allows for taxpayer money to slip out while Blumenfield is pretending that there's nothing to discuss. I think there is things to discuss, and I think that the public has a right to understand what the kind of terms of these deals are and why we would continue to leave the door open for repeated claims of the same kind of malfeasance. In this raft of items today, you have a variety of LAPD matters for the progressives who don't seem to give a shit, and you have these trip and falls and car crashes that result because of negligence on the part of the city sometimes. But we have to, is a general public comment?
Mr. Previn, the closed session matters that we've already had public hearings on them, so please move on to an item that's open for public comment.
Yeah, I'm going to go right to my general now, and I'm going to tell you that I disagree with the idea that you should be able to do the play you run, which is the Blumenfield Krikorian Skidoo. It's absolute bullshit. What happens is when you announce the terms that it's supposed to be in closed session, you're supposed to come out of the closed session and tell the public.
So I've asked you to move on to the agenda items. I'm going to move you to... It's on general. Okay. Continue with your
I'm moving to general public comment. I'm voluntarily moving to general public comment starting now. I need 60 seconds though. Can't keep interrupting, bro, because this is your particular purview and you're a little troublemaker because you know that I'm right. So when somebody goes into the closed session, which you don't do because Blumenfield makes his little speech about how it's fine out here, then you're supposed to take comment so that the public can hear $1 billion and say yay or nay or are you crazy? But you don't allow that because you play a little game. This is why Avak is retired, because once Krikorian leaves the building, they're going to come in and make you do it correctly. Blumenfield knows, all the others know, it's been a long haul, but we're going to get there. And we're going to get there without, before you have a chance to destroy the...
Mr. Previn, your time has expired. Next caller.
Donk Derek.
Caller, which items would you like to speak to?
Hi, good morning. I'd like to speak on number 2 and number 34, and I also like to include general public comment, please.
Okay, so you have 2 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good morning, City Council. It's almost afternoon. I'd like to say that I do support improvement on the intersection of Mount Gleason Avenue and Hillrose Street. And I don't understand why there's a protest against the proposed improvement. So I'm actually going to say no to the protest. I am in support of having improvements done to the street lightings at that intersection. What I would like to see is the entire Somontonga area. I'd like to ask that you guys send out inspectors to inspect all the street lights to make sure they're working properly and upgrade them if they are necessary. Now let's go to number 34. And I see that we were talking about funding for subsequent moratorium of understanding or recreation and talking about like outreach services to help the unhoused that are sleeping in the river. I do support that motion, and there are people that are living in the LA River on building a tree house on the tree in the middle of the LA River, and that is a big, big safety concern.
A tree house.
Now, I understand helping the homeless is very important, but the way we can help reduce homelessness is by not voting to increase taxes, voting to raise property taxes. And every election that comes around, there's always a ballot measure to raise taxes, and this is something we do not want in the state of California. We are taxed enough already. California is going to go broke.
It's true.
Yes. General public comment is, let's take a look at California's budget deficit. Because as you can see, California is losing a lot of businesses, a lot of residents, and loss of tax revenue will result in a higher budget deficit. So California right now has the current budget deficit right now is $37.9 billion. Now, this city needs to also take into consideration that if we're going to vote to increase taxes, don't be sorry later when businesses start moving out and going to other cities to do business. Cost of doing business is ridiculously too high in the city of Los Angeles, and more needs to be done to cut taxes. So
Caller, your time has
more
expired.
businesses come.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next caller, please.
Caller, which items would you like to speak to?
Yes, good morning. Thank you for the opportunity. All items
The Great Pander.
and 30 and public comment, please.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. In regards to renters, you know, it doesn't matter how much I have. It doesn't matter how much Mr. Price has, Mr. Corey. It doesn't matter how much any of us and how much we own, because we don't take care of the renters. If we don't provide the needs and fulfill their needs as far as when they lose their housing, etc., it's not worth it. It's like, sooner or later it's all going to catch up with us. And for those out there who think I'm just a puppet, I'm a property owner. I just spent $100,000 in repairing one of my properties based on this individual who works for JPL, who makes tons of money, but destroyed my property. That happens, and that there has to be a remedy for that. But for the renters, please, I ask the city council, you're not doing enough. There's a lot of things that can still be done, and I hope that you'll reach out to them. May I go to public comment, please?
Okay, you have 1 minute for general public comment.
Thank you, sir. To Granada Hills, to the Highlanders, bravo, Mr. Lee, bravo for bringing them forth. But for all those kids out in the schools and Granada, for those of you who have not won your championship, don't give up on yourself. You will. One day, you will be a champion, and believe me, don't give up. It'll happen to you. And even though I'm a little envious of these kids who ended up winning championships when I was in high school, you know what? It's good for them, but don't ever give up on yourself. And to Mr. Greenspan, I know you like to attack your rabbis. That's okay. That's fine. But to attack Mr. Dudley Rutherford, the pastor, do you know how many people he has saved? Do you know how many people he has taken into his church who were given second chance? Talk about a second chance program. Shepherd Hill Church is a second chance program. And just talking about the second chance program, Mr. Hernandez,
Mr. Candido, your time has expired.
Thank you very much.
It's okay to
we'll
bash
take one
the
more
Jews,
caller.
but it ain't okay to bash the Christians.
Caller, which items would you like to speak to?
I got it, Great Pander. Hysterical.
Private caller, please press *6 to unmute.
Okay, next caller then. Next caller, please.
Caller, which items would you like to speak to?
Man, it's the DEI guy.
Damon, I can't believe the new people in chat today. My name is Lobster. You know what? Let's do some Sadler
Sorry,
Brothers.
caller, which items would you like to speak to?
General public.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for general
Counting
public comment.
boogers on the, excuse me, it's general public. Counting boogers on the wall. I've got mold inside my lungs. My neighbor's smoking crack and taking LSD, but I want my rent to be free. If the Baltimore Bridge was built with Brocklander's pre-cum, it would have never fell down because nuts and bolts aren't as strong as Brocklander's pre-cum. Thank you.
That will close public comment on all agenda items and close general public comment. Madam Clerk, what is available now for us to vote on?
Mr. President, Council may now vote on items 1 through 11, 24 through 29, 31 through 35, and 37, sir.
Very good. Those items are now before us. Do any members wish to be heard on any of these items? Seeing none, let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
13 ayes. Mr. President, there's a request to send item 35 forthwith, sir.
Without objection, that will be the order.
I don't normally
All
ever
right, that will take us next to item number 36.
Now I know why she kept
and
it
I'd
on
like to
so
call
long.
upon Councilmember McOsker.
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate the opportunity to speak on this and ask a few questions. I'm going to ask the port staff to come forward to the table, if that's all right with you. And as they're coming forward, I just want to give this a little bit of context. What we have in front of us is an amendment to an existing lease, the China shipping lease at the Port of Los Angeles. The Port Commission has approved this lease. It comes forward to us as a matter of course because of the length of the term. This is not a lease that we should consider out of context of the 20-plus year history of this matter. The China shipping matter was first approved, permit number 999, in 2001. And in 2001, shortly after it was approved, litigation was filed, and the litigation involved multiple issues, but generally it involved the enforcement of some of the mitigation terms. I will say that there were a lot of forces back in 2001. One of them was the litigants. The litigants were the NRDC, were community groups. The other was Jim Hahn. A lot of forces that brought us to
Harwood as well. Thank you to
AMP Power, that brought us to a proposal, among other proposals, where we began to plug in chips. There's real benefit that comes out of litigation. There's real benefit that comes out of legislation and changes in policy. But today we are here because the litigation unfortunately has continued for a number of different reasons. But while we are still in this case, we're being asked to review and sign off on what the port has approved as amendment number 5, which, as my understanding is, incorporates a number of the mitigation measures that came out of previous documents that will now go into the lease, but not all of the measures. And I would just ask, with your concurrence, Mr. President, for staff to give us a brief overview of what's in front of us, and then I have a couple questions.
That's it. I didn't get it. I mean,
Is
maybe
this,
it's,
thank you.
Maybe they're late right
thank you
now.
for your opening
That
comments,
happens,
Council Member McOsker. Your summary is absolutely correct. While the court has continuing jurisdiction over this matter, the Fifth Amendment has come forward, and what it does essentially is it implements a suite of mitigation measures that via the trial court and appellate court proceedings to date, those mitigation measures have been found to be feasible. So what the amendment does is it puts in place contractually and obligates China Shipping to implement mitigation measures that have been through the court process that have been found to be feasible. So it, in effect, implements all the mitigation measures that the law at this point has deemed to be appropriate for implementation.
I'm pretty sure I shouted you out right after.
A couple questions. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. So it is my understanding, and I want you to confirm this, that this matter has gone to trial. It went to trial down below. It was appealed, and on appeal, the court had a long discussion of the different mitigation measures, the problems with whether or not the port had required those mitigation measures to be enforceable through the lease, and had a very broad discussion, but essentially sent it back to the trial court.
Thank you again.
For the remedy. The remedy being, how are we going to fix this and make sure that mitigation measures
not
are
in the mic
enforceable. Do I
either,
have that right?
You have that right.
And so one of the things that brings us here today is that trial court, considering the remedy, put out an order to show cause. The order to show cause goes to the point that our labor friends raised. It said, tell the court why we should not shut down China shipping, and come back and give us a number of reports, like how many jobs are there, what would be the impact of that on trade, what would be the impact on that on the community, and a number of other questions. And
realistically, guys, that Ian's right, because again, now all they're going to do is talk to these two idiots and go back and forth with their ideas, which is all just boring ass shit. Public comments over via phone and in the chambers. So realistically, there's no reason for us to stay. And see, this is what they used to make us sit through before, when they split public comment and general comment, away from each other. But see, even now they know that it's backfired in their face. They've sat through too many long meetings, and sometimes it's fucking them up because they have another meeting an hour or so later that we don't watch. So they pretty much realize that there's a method to the madness. Get them in, get them the fuck out of here, and then we can get our business done. And that's really what it boils down to. I mean, you saw his face when that last call with Lobster was. He was angry. So, guys, I'm gonna try to work on these things. I'm gonna go to maybe Guitar Center and maybe buy a new mixer and try to install it myself. I don't know, but I kind of don't want to do a show tonight, because I'm gonna have to get all these drops done before I can really do the show. Because then you hit one that's way too loud and blows everybody out, and it just sucks. And I don't know what it is, so. Yeah, I need to be up on the mics all the time, Taylor, and sometimes I'm back here and it's going to sound a bit different than me being right here. And again, I can't really hear out of my left ear right now. It's still pretty clogged. So, yeah, that doesn't help either. Being only here in one ear. So, thank you for all you do for me. Thank you for all the likes, the love, the donos, the thumbs ups, all of it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see you guys on the next one. I have a feeling that as soon as I start working on this shit, there will be another chase. So, you know how it is. One spawns another. Oh, man. So you guys have a good day. I appreciate all of you. Enjoy your Taco Tuesdays. Don't get too wild. I'll see you guys on the next one. Be good, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.
Yeah, you guys. I'm a gang.
Bye, y'all.